All right, breaking right now. Sources are telling the Associated Press that the Trump administration is preparing to fire FBI agents involved in past probes of the president. It comes one day after President Trump's pick to lead the FBI, Kash Patel, insisted that he will not seek retribution or politicize the agency if confirmed.
The union that represents federal workers, though, says this isn't a voluntary buyout. They say this is a purge of people that don't agree with the president. What's your response?
That's absolutely false. This is a suggestion to federal workers that they have to return to work. And if they don't, then they have the option to resign. And this administration is very generously offering to pay them for 8 months. 6% of the federal workforce in the city actually shows up to work. That's unacceptable. We're all here at work at the office. There are law enforcement officers and teachers and nurses across the country who showed up to the office today. People in this city need to do the same. It's an overwhelmingly popular policy with people outside of Washington, D.C.
Mr. President, is there anything China, Canada, and Mexico can do tonight to forestall your implementation of tariffs tomorrow?
No, nothing. Not right now, no.
Not a negotiating tool?
No, it's not.
President Donald Trump shocks senior FBI leaders by saying that they have 3 options: retire, resign, or be fired. Canada's Justin Trudeau wants to get into a trade war with the United States, and federal workers panic as the Trump administration sends millions of resignation offers that will pay them until late this year. Now, I appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Thank you so much for sharing this video. We have a lot to unpack in today's video, so let's go ahead and get things started with these buyouts, shall we? So the Department of Government Efficiency under Elon Musk wants to cut federal deficit from $2 trillion to $1 trillion in fiscal year 2026. Now, according to him, in order to do that, the government would need to cut costs. An average of $4 billion a day has to be removed until the end of September. And if you looked at our government, you'd notice that they spend money as if it's water out in the sea. And yes, revenue collection is insanely good for our country. In fact, almost $5 trillion were collected in fiscal year 2024. The problem is that we're spending so much more than we make. For the same fiscal year, the federal government was able to spend almost $7 trillion. To say that we've got financially illiterate fools managing our money, this would be an understatement, because even a child who knows basic math would tell you that 7 is greater than 5, right? And spending more than you earn would put you in debt. The government is spending a majority of its budget on its bloated workforce. The resignation email from the Trump administration was sent to more than 2 million federal employees. Now think about that number just for a second there. And then remember that late last year, it's estimated that the federal government employed more than 3 million people. That's 1.9% of the nation's entire civilian workforce. And they don't work there for a hot minute and leave. The average tenure for a federal employee is almost 12 years. That means these folks are milking it. But what's in this email anyway, right? And what kind of deal are these workers getting?
A government email titled Fork in the Road offers federal employees a choice: a severance package or return to the office. The U.S. Office of Personnel Management says federal employees who accept the buyout would go on leave but still be fully paid with benefits until September 30th. But employees must decide by February 6th.
I think the suddenness of it is very concerning, just that people need to make a decision by next Thursday. And there's limited information out there.
Mary Smigelski is an employment attorney who's also with the Chicago Bar Association.
Typically, when you have a buyout, so to speak, it's an early retirement program, and it's very specific.
A Trump administration official tells NBC News they expect up to 10% to quit, leading to around $100 billion in savings. Democrats are pushing back on President Trump's move.
He doesn't have any authority to do this. Do not be fooled by this guy. You were here before he was here, and you'll be here after he was here.
The American Federation of Government Employees says the buyouts will have vast unintended consequences that will cause chaos for the Americans who depend on a functioning federal government. Those who don't take the offer could still see their positions eliminated.
The guidance also says that there's nothing to prohibit one from taking another job. during this resignation period.
Now, why is President Trump adamant in doing this? It's not just to cut costs. According to him, the citizens of the United States deserve the highest quality service from people who love our country. Not to feed into any kind of conspiracy theories, but there's one that talks about second jobs. An ex-post from conservative Mila Joy says that the main issue for federal workers returning to office is that it would interfere with their current second job, meaning that productivity has been low since some of these workers have been focused on another job than the one that they already have with the government. Now, of course, take that report with a grain of salt, but I'm just saying, I know people who've done it. But here's something related to it that's been proven. President Trump has called for the resignation of multiple FBI officials.
We reported yesterday that people at the top levels of the FBI have been given an ultimatum, either leave or be fired. The FBI is undergoing a transformation. Some see it as good, what President Trump promised. Others are worried, concerned. Many of these people, Jackie, who are told to leave are career officials who have pensions. Some were hoping to stay until retirement. They've been there for years. Now, the FBI declines to give out specific numbers or names or comment. Yesterday, the president's FBI director nominee, Mr. Kash Patel, you see him right there, had that confirmation hearing. He left without any major controversies, but he did hear strong words from both sides of the aisle while he was asked about his past comments. Watch.
Don't go over there and burn down that agency. You go over there and lift it up.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
Could he just answer the question if he said that the FBI headquarters where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism should be shut down and opened as a deep state?
Hey, Mr. Chair.
As a museum. Did he say that the headquarters should be shut down?
Mr. Chair.
I deserve an answer to that question.
Patel said the criticisms were, quote, false and accusations and mischaracterizations.
Priority of the FBI, if I'm confirmed, will be to ensure that our communities are protected and safeguarded and our children have parks to play in and not needles to walk over.
He said the Bureau will not be politicized either toward Republicans or Democrats. No date yet set for a full Senate confirmation vote, but he's expected, Jackie, to make it through. But a lot of changes coming at the FBI.
President Trump himself was asked about these changes, and here's what he had to say about it.
At the Department of Justice and the FBI, there are a number of high-level people who are being asked to resign or are being told they are going to be fired. Did you specifically request any actions at the Bureau or DOJ with respect to those employees?
No, but we have some very bad people over there. It was weaponized at a level that nobody's ever seen before. They came after a lot of people, like me, but they came after a lot of people. No, I wasn't involved in it. I'll have to see what is exactly going on after this is finished. But if they fired some people over there, that's a good thing because they were very bad. They were very corrupt people, very corrupt, and they hurt our country very badly with the weaponization. They used the Justice Department to go after their political opponent, which in itself is illegal. And obviously it didn't work.
Now, on that note of things that didn't work, Canada's Justin Trudeau is threatening the United States with tariffs. Now, I could have sworn that this guy resigned already. What's he even doing now? Anyway, so this comes after President Donald Trump decided to impose 25% tariffs on the country of Canada.
Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more.
Now, I want to remind you guys that President Trump wanted one thing from Canada and Justin Trudeau: fix your borders. That was it. All he had to do was keep illegal immigrants from using their borders to enter the United States. And it's obvious that he's not willing to play ball on that end because he introduced a border plan that spanned out for 6 years. He doesn't want to solve the problem today. And some analysts believe that going into a trade war with Trump will make him more popular with his constituents, especially those who lean to the left. Now, some experts like independent journalist David Creighton say that this move from Justin Trudeau could theoretically drive Canada into a full-blown depression. It's a game of chicken at this point, folks. And I'm pretty sure President Trump is not turning the wheel first. Now, from that, I want you guys to go ahead and watch a recent live stream that I did. It's one that got taken down originally for some reason, but I guess the truth is just way too hard to comprehend. I talked about our new White House press secretary who's not afraid to answer questions. The difference between Caroline Leavitt and her predecessor is just wild. Anyway, make sure you guys check that one out. As always, thanks so much for hitting the like button and for sharing this video. We'll see you next time.